Thank you, everyone, for the well wishes for my husband. If you missed it, I didn't post a video yesterday because I had to take him to the emergency room. And you might hear him coughing in the background. I don't know what's picking up or not. But to cut to the chase, if you don't want to stick around for the whole video, he was diagnosed with pneumonia. Didn't have that in our bingo card. For a recap, so 2 weeks ago, he had an unruly class that he had to get loud with. That's just the truth of when you're teaching middle school and high school. And he ripped up his throat, and he loses his voice and it strains very easily. It's not uncommon for him by the end of the week to be hoarse, even when it's a great week. It's just the constant talking. That's just the reality of him as a teacher with his throat. So when he ripped it up and was like coughing, just, as if it was strained, we didn't think anything of it immediately. But as the week progressed, it wasn't improving. It almost seemed like it was getting worse. But we thought, hey, his throat isn't getting a chance to rest, between being home and work and whatever he shredded, it's just not getting a chance to heal. But then the cough, it was like all the time. There was no rest. And over the weekend, he had a fever. So we were like, something isn't right. So this past Sunday, he went to urgent care. And the doctor, on Saturday, he took a COVID test to be sure, negative. And at urgent care, they did a flu test, negative. And when the doctor looked in his throat, saw that it was red and saw that it went down pretty far. So she diagnosed him with like a bacterial throat and beginning of a chest infection and put him on amoxicillin, a prescription strength cough suppressant, told him to get also Robitussin and, saltwater gargles, honey, tea, all that, the basics. And a Tylenol, a fever reducer should he get a fever again. And he went to work on Monday. Or no, this might have been, was it Sunday? Saturday? The days are running together. Either way, he went to work on Monday and he came home feeling like crud. He wore a mask and, alerted people it's bacterial what I have. It's not contagious. It's okay. And he just came home feeling absolutely awful. And the coughing was just, again, unrelentless. And he said, I can't go in tomorrow. I can't function. He had to walk around a building to pick up copies, and he almost didn't make it. He was so winded. So stayed home on Tuesday and stayed home on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I said, let's just do a telehealth because our insurance offers free telehealths. I've done them for some of my ailments. And I said, just to say, hey, I've been on amoxicillin. This is my diagnosis. The symptoms aren't really getting better. What's up? So, and on Wednesday, he woke up congested. So, like nasally congested. And so did the telehealth and said, you might also be getting a sinus infection if you have a throat and the beginning of a chest infection. So prescribed him a nasal spray to battle a potential sinus infection, but said, continue on with what you're doing because these things have ups and downs in the healing process, and said, okie dokie. And then yesterday when he woke up, it was like, he's just been like dipping and fluctuating with like color phlegm, sometimes not, sometimes colors. We'll leave it at that. So yesterday I said, let's go back to urgent care and have them do a follow-up. And they did a chest x-ray and noticed some, as they called it, hazing at the bottom of his lung, and said one of two things, pneumonia or a blood clot. And also his heartbeat was erratic, but he's been coughing, and all of the medications can cause, erratic heart rates. So said, let's switch over from treating this as just an infection and let's treat it as pneumonia, and gave him a different antibiotic that treats pneumonia, as well as an albuterol inhaler to open up airways. Stick with Mucinex and a fever reducer as necessary. And then I spent the day yesterday hopping around pharmacies and doing like Target pickups, Instacarted an inhaler, a humidifier. And there was a lot of screw ups with the pharmacy. It took forever to get him his antibiotics and inhaler. So, we went to urgent care at like 8:30 in the morning, but he didn't begin anything until the evening because of problems. And right at around dinner time, because on my way home, I picked up like an Aldi pizza and Gatorade and said, easy night for dinner. My daughter and I made him soup the other day. He was going to have soup. I have a little video to post of that because my daughter was my sous chef. And, but he's just sitting there and he's like, my chest is hurting. I can't breathe. And this is worse than when I had COVID. And when he had COVID, he was down for the count for 2 weeks. So for him to say this is worse than how I felt with COVID, I said, then it's to the emergency room we go, because that's the only option right now. So hoofed ourselves to, it's like an off-site emergency room. It's where I went when I had my leg abscess. And it's strictly an emergency room. There's no like hospital attached. So if you need to be admitted, they will transport you, or you can transport yourself. Otherwise, it's emergency room for, release, same day release. I highly recommend it if you need an emergency room and it's like no wait, like nobody goes there. I can't recommend this concept enough. But they took him in. We explained what happened at like urgent care, and they did their own chest x-ray and, viral testings, and they saw the hazing in the lung, but they could tell that it was pneumonia. It was not a blood clot, thank goodness. That was making me nervous. Not that pneumonia doesn't make me nervous, but blood clots make me nervous in the lung. But it was stumping the ER doctor about how none of these antibiotics were working, but the antibiotics he had just been given yesterday, he took 1 dose of. So there was not enough time for it to work, but he needed immediate treatment because of his breathing. So they did a double dose of prednisone and a breathing treatment and fluids, and it opened him up enough to feel human and be able to walk out and not be hunched over, coughing and wheezing and gasping for air. And the doctor felt comfortable releasing him because we had all of these antibiotics on hand. If we didn't, he would admit him. The only thing we didn't have was the prednisone because it was too late to fill it. And so they did a double dose of it, and I picked it up this morning. So he started it. And he had the humidifier, and he's doing the inhaler as he needs. So he feels so much better. He's still coughing, but he can have a conversation now, and he can sit and not just be keeled over. So, yeah. That's what's going on. Did not foresee this. And we genuinely don't know if there was a throat infection. Was it pneumonia brewing this whole time? Did something turn into pneumonia? There's questions if it's viral or bacterial. It's like a house episode where we just want an end result of healing. At this point, I don't need nitpicking over what caused what and what. I just want it gone for him, So yeah, that's what's going on. Nobody really predicted between my husband and I, like 4 emergency room visits this year. that wasn't on our itinerary for 2024. I don't want it on the itinerary in the future. But, yeah, I'm pooped. He's pooped. The family's pooped. You know, the kids got not so much homeschooling this week, a little bit, some reading, some worksheets, but a lot of life lessons, a lot of patience in emergency room, waiting room learning, you know, just learning how to band together, and they were troopers through it all. So sometimes you just need a week of life lessons. And boy, was this a week of life lessons. Okay. I've been blabbing for 10 minutes at saying, and I have to unplop my hair and make my mom lunch. Okay. But again, thank you for your prayers and positive thoughts and well wishes and inquiries of concern. But hopefully he's on the mend. The ER doctor said the next 24 hours were vital, and that if he worsened, he had to go to a hospital to be admitted. And so far today, that is not the case. And hopefully that means we're smooth sailing on the ship of healing. Because this is off-putting to see him like this. So yeah. I hope y'all are doing okay. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.